to serve in that position. Jason Pavat has volunteered to serve in the in-town district of the water. In the Republican community area, Jim Burcham has agreed to serve in that area. Theodore Brown will serve for Twin Groves, and then I will serve for Martinville. We're still trying to secure somebody who will serve on the Batesville Mountain Road area. We've got a few folks on our list. We've had one to decline. We've still got some others that we will contact, and so we'll update that once we have somebody who's agreed to serve in that area. But that's our goal, is to have all those areas within the community, surrounding community, represented for that. So we'll keep you updated on that. There's a rate study done for 2026. The paperwork has been submitted on that. We're on the list with Rural Water to conduct a rate study for the 2026 year. And then we've also been able to do a hydraulic study on some new acreage that was purchased on Spires Road with the intent of being a new housing, I hate to call it a subdivision. It's going to be broken up into about 10 to, I guess, 20 acre lots, somewhere 5 to 10 acre lots, with the idea, the objective of having a total of 20 homes. And that's the Larry and Ann Clements place, which is goes on both sides of the road there, off of 124, and then on Spires and up behind Spires Cemetery. Scotty Jones, has purchased that and wants to divide that up. But the hydraulic study shows that it will support 20
Yes, sir, we
places.
confirmed that with engineers this afternoon.
Okay, so that's good. Very good. So, any concerns about that? And I think Scott said he's just going to put that on the market, and that maybe 1 or 2 homes at a time. It's not like it's going to be a developed subdivision, with roads and utilities and that type of thing.
Also, the note on that, they're all going to front an existing water main.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes it better too.
According to what he has told us.
That's great. That's great. And then do you guys mind sharing? I know y'all had a hydraulic study this afternoon, or met with an engineer this afternoon. Do you guys mind sharing a little bit about that?
And if we can remember it all.
Okay.
Basically, we went back over our scenarios that we showed you guys at the last water board meeting, and just dug in a little deeper, making sure that the information we gave to you was accurate. And we dug into that a little more, and I believe they talked with Randy about some flow rates and pressures from the master meter, what we're actually getting, not what we're contracted for community water. And when we plugged in that number to the master meter, it showed that our system would not be viable for the full future development that we had already showed you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good information that we needed to know. That's why we contacted them.
Mm-hmm.
We were a little bit worried about that situation. And then I think we went over the future development with the third tank or the extra tank and the new master meter with the added customer base. The total package thing that we talked about. And that's where it showed that wouldn't work with our current volume coming from community water. So that we need to kind of backtrack on that and do some more thinking.
Okay.
We did that with engineers, talking about just the master meter coming up from Guy area to the north end to help the in-town situation. And that looked like it was going to help. It wouldn't help with much future development, but it does some. We don't have numbers on that yet because you have to go in small increments and find where that breaking point is. What else was there, Randy? On that?
Going back to where he said, that, we're talking about the tank, putting the tank and stuff in down there on that end. With both the engineers here today, we started talking about maybe another way. We talked about, any future work down Cedar Hill or whatever. We need to at least have a line running that way. And then we also talked about the fact that our main problem is our contract says 200 gallons a minute from community water. We can't always get that. Now, there's times that when everybody down south is not using the water, we can get 200, maybe 250, but it's for short periods of time. The engineer suggested today is us put instead of building a tank, which really wouldn't, because we still can't get any more water. It's just gonna be another, we may not be able to get them as full as they used to get them. Put an inline pump system in on the main line down by the pump station and actually set it up on a variable frequency drive where it will actually pull 200 gallons a minute. It'd be down by the master meter. To be able to pull out directly off and push the water on up into the system. That way we're actually getting that 200 gallons a minute. Well, that should help that situation. And it's, the engineer said around maybe 200 and something to $300,000, which is a whole big difference between 2 million for tank and stuff, and that, we really didn't do a hydraulic study after that, how far that might get us further into the future. You know, if that possibility, I mean, you know, that can be done a lot quicker because of the dollar figure with the $300,000. But eventually we do need to go ahead and do our other master meter situation. And we need to start looking at dollar figures, funding. We need to get a preliminary application and preliminary engineering done with the engineer so we can get that project submitted to the, what they call WAC, it's Water Authorization Committee. And that goes before all the different funding agencies. And the health department and all that, and then of course they look at it, okay, is this a viable project? And then
It also
start looking at funding.
Yeah, it gets you on the funding.
Gets
radar.
us on the funding list.
That's the biggest.
That's the thing,
Right.
because if we got on it tomorrow, it's gonna be, you know, well, when we did the expansions, Twin Grove, Republican, you know, that took years to get. So, I mean, if we don't get on the list, we're behind. And if, you know, we get on that list and, you know, that's like anything else, any new, infrastructure money comes up, you know, the closer we're ready to actually start digging, the better off we'd be. The more likely we can get more grant money. So,
Another
That's-
note, Pam's been attending quite a few of the grant classes and finding out information on all these different grants. Most of them now are telling us we're 5 years out on any grant money available. So we're gonna have to work on getting our name in the pot, or that's just gonna be
Delayed.
delayed.
10 years.
Yeah,
after we're out of water for several, you know, like other situations before, so.
there's also special grants that come through, but they want it ready to dig projects.
Mhm.
But you've got everything already done, and you're ready to dig dirt. They have special funding for those, but this one and this one and this one will come through. And it's limited funding, yes, but there's very limited projects that are ready to dig. So we need to get to that point of ready to dig project, because then we'll be able to take advantage of those special grant things that they come out with, so. Because it's just infrastructure. I mean, there's some that come through that they're just infrastructure, whatever project you've got, if you're ready to dig dirt, submit it.
So on that note of projects, we've already started a list of projects that we have noted in here and then talked about at the shop and in the field. So we're getting those together. We have an asset management plan already in place. We can update that as we go along. Of course, the pricing's always going to change. We're trying to prioritize that list of our needs, and then of course, once you guys get it, you'll prioritize it how you see fit. Of course, with our input. And then we also have a list of the projects for future growth. So we're in the process of getting some things together on pricing there and materials needed, and then locations, and then, of course, how much it's gonna cost.
Yeah, we'll do budgets next month, so.
Yeah, I'm I'm trying to get all that together so we can.
Projects are next year.
Yeah.
I need those numbers.
It's gonna be done now anyways.
Yeah.
Well, if we can get our advisory board confirmed with all of our members, then we'll want to get some information from you guys and have a training information session from you guys so that we'll all be up to date and we can try to be very proactive with all of those as much as we can
Yes, sir.
and try to help make this process go. It's good. Any other questions for these guys? Well, thank y'all for doing that. Price increases there will be new rates coming up for 2026. We'll talk about that in the November meeting, and the next meeting will be held in conjunction with the regular meeting on Thursday, November the 13th. Instead of a Tuesday night, it'll be a Thursday night for next month. So, correct?
Mhm.
All right. Any questions? Any concerns? Anybody else? All right. I entertain a motion to adjourn the water board.
So move. Second.
All right. Any opposed? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
All right. Let's take about a 3-4 minute break and we'll re-adjourn. Meeting back to order. Since we've already done the pledge and prayer, we won't go through that again. We do have all of our town council members present. Did you all have a chance to read over the minutes?
Yes, sir.
So I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes.
Second.
Motion made and second to accept the minutes from our September council meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We've already done introduction of the Water Advisory Board members. We will need to approve them. I would like to put that off until we have our Batesville Mountain person in place, and then we'll do them all at once. Fire Department, Daniel's still at work, so I'm gonna call on Jackie to give a report.
Let's see, we had a guy come last night and presented us we looked at some nozzles and played a little bit, squirting some water, and it's been kind of, I don't know why I say this.
Yeah, we better knock on wood.
It's been kind of quiet,
Good thing.
yep, so.
We don't use the Q word.
I know. So there's our calls for the month. And then, yeah, we had that one time that the storm blew up, and we had a lot of wind damage that one day, a lot of trees down. Long spires and along back over past me, Rabbit Ridge, always.
Markville.
Now the burn permits, Daniel's rethinking this, cause he's just going crazy. But,
It's working. I mean, they're turning them in and calling and.
yeah, and it's
It's just more than what he kind of thought they would be, but.
yeah.
You don't know till you try, right?
That's right, and that's what I told him, I don't mind it too much because when I get them on the phone, I'm quizzing them. How big is it? Have you got a cleared area? You got your garden hose out? I mean, I'm.
Educating them.
Right, just, are you ready? Are you sure you're ready for this? And then, yeah, so it's.
We all know the wind doesn't stop blowing up here.
Well, every day I look and see what's the humidity and what's the wind, and then I go, yeah, so. And it's been fine, so.
At least you kind of have a heads up of who might be burning.
You know ahead of time whether it's supposed to,
controlled
if
burn
it's,
or not.
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
called
so-
in as smoke, you know.
Yeah.
It's probably controlled burn or not.
And most of the big control burns, they're gonna be called into Forestry Service, and it's gonna be called into 911 and all the fire departments, and most of those there's quite a bit of notice goes out, so.
Yeah.
You still have people
We always have
complaining about
people-
smoke, but hey, that's
Yes.
part of it.
Driving down 65 and they'll see it, and you
Yeah.
know, they'll call and they'll tell us out before they find out it's a controlled burn. But
Do you guys want to discuss the pay calls, or you wanna put that off till Daniel's available to discuss those?
It's whatever y'all want to do. I mean, I hate that he's not here, but he was still at work. I just
Yeah.
got a text from him, so.
I did ask, I did get, and I'm just going to present this material, but then I will abstain from being part of the vote and all anything like that. But we got information from, what is it, 23, right? And so in 23, we had 305 calls, and set at an average of 3 people. And 24 meetings and then 3 classes. 24 meetings with an average of 4, 3 classes with an average of 6. I'm actually gonna say this year, those numbers are a lot lower. I'm gonna say probably over half the calls would just be like 2 of us, either me and Pam or me and Brandon. You know, during the day and stuff, or, our numbers are way down. But, so I think, where was, I know it's gonna be, I mean, I don't know how much it was gonna be if we just figured what it was
I believe on what it came to, if it was figured upon those original numbers off of 23, it came to right at
19,000.
19.5 or something like
Yeah.
that, almost 20,000 a year
Right,
for paid calls for fire.
yes. So, and then,
So the discussion will be, where will the money come from? Will it come from the fire department? Will it come from general fund?
It'll come from fire department, is what his plan is.
Okay.
And it's, that sales tax revenue,
Mhm.
that is one of the listed items that you can do, pay per call, to help, create more activity, get more people involved in your fire department. Because we're not the only ones struggling with it. Every fire department is the same way. But that's one of the listed valid payments for it. And the income from that one is almost 100,000 a year. So it's 20-something thousand every quarter. Whether it's 22, 24, whatever amount.
It's not like it cannot be paid for. There's funds available to pay for it.
The new structure's already there for it.
Yep.
And if it increases our personnel, which is what our goal is, then I'm all for it because we need more help.
Yes. Comments?
Do we know how other cities are doing paid by call?
That's where this structure thing
Yeah.
came from. We brought it
Daniel
from some of the other
checked
ones.
around other places to come up with this pay structure. So, I can't answer for him on who he talked to or how many he talked to, but I do know he told me this is where he got his figures from.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure one of his sources was Conway County, so.
Is that the fund where the Van Buren sales tax?
It says family sales tax, yeah.
I'm assuming equipment and vehicles comes out of that as well.
Yeah, we can have vehicles, there's a lot of stuff we can pay for out of that one. Vehicles and fuel expenses and, paper calls and insurances and stuff like that. But I spend out of the regular fund first because that Act 33 money is in that regular fund and we have to spend it every year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I spend it first and then if we get a big item like that truck or whatever, then I take it out of the sales tax revenues.
Yeah, the act money has to have zero balance at the end of the year.
Right, I try to spend all of it every year, that way you don't have a carryover, because if you have a carryover, well, then you gotta send in reports, there's extra steps, so.
I don't really like the idea of taking any action without the fire chief here and able to discuss it. But what about a flat rate across the board? Like, I don't want to get into the weeds. It's something I want to have a discussion with him about. And us not having a really good idea, if we start paying different people different amounts of money and then start paying by the hour for training, like if we did a flat rate across the board, we're going to know better where we're going to be.
Yeah.
But I think that's a discussion we need to have with him here.
Kind of
So,
open-ended as far as the fee structure.
Right.
I mean, it's per call, but, and that's in black and white, but
Yeah.
you don't know how many calls, it's open-ended right
Right.
now, really.
Yeah.
Which, we could set, I agree with you. I'd like for Daniel to be here before this is really decided, but we can defer it to our November meeting.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, if it's something we want to take action on right now, I'd be okay with saying we pay everybody $15 a call, $15 a meeting across the board, and we start there, and then maybe we do it for 6 months and see where we're at, and then see if we can increase that or go to a different schedule. But I would like to see us start somewhere and kind of get an idea of
I'm good with that. Yeah.
where it goes.
Yeah, just would, because it's just a policy, it's not
Right.
an ordinance, it's not a resolution, it's just a policy of the building. And then, we will start, do it 6 months, give a 6-month trial on it and see, because that'll
And
be
that's
2 quarters then,
Yeah.
and how much.
And that's if we don't want to, whatever y'all want to do, but if we want to do something tonight and start paying tomorrow, I'm good with doing that now. But and not kicking it down the curb
It's
another
been 40
month.
years.
So.
What's another month?
I understand.
It's a lot of it. I was on there before Daniel was born, and he's 40 years old, so.
Yeah, so.
How would it work? Because I know like Pam and Randy, some of our city employees are on. What happens if the call is during the day while they're on the clock? Would they still get, because they couldn't double dip, right? So,
Well,
It's the point, as far as water,
they don't have time to
we
report.
don't, yeah, we.
So most time y'all don't
Unless
do calls
it-
anyway.
I mean, it'd have to be
But
something really bad.
it's like Jackie said, right now, it boils down to Jackie and,
Car.
yeah,
right.
and Pam when she can, but then it pulls her away from things that she's right in the middle of.
Right.
You
Right.
know, it's tough on Pam to get away from here to take calls too. But right now, that's who we have to, that's who we have.
Yeah, that-
So-
you know, it's kind of like there's just hierarchies that nobody else is going and I have to go and it's really an medical, it's really an emergency. It's not just, you know, I stubbed my toe or whatever the case
Yeah.
may be, but, and is there somebody here that can keep City Hall open? If there's nobody here, then I can't go, so.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I would want to make sure whenever final policy we do put in is just make sure that we don't double dip or something like that legally wise. And I don't know if Mr. Suits back there would want to tell us something different about it.
Time to chime in there.
Well, I mean, first of all, to the extent that y'all want to gotta go a flat across the board or stagger it, it really doesn't matter. I think that that's, you know, either way is appropriate there. Justin, say your question again.
So since this is it's going to be paid out of a budget, can an employee that's already getting paid
Right.
for their regular job quote unquote double dip and get paid from another while they're still on the clock, or would?
I don't think you're gonna run into any problems there for a lot of reasons. Number one, you know, I think the triggering event for any of this to be taxable is like $600 a year before you have to do a
About $600.
So I don't know that you're gonna have anybody in any given year that makes more than that. And I don't think that there's gonna be some question about, well, were they over here on the city's time and then the fire department's or the, you know, time. I don't see that as being an issue, you know. I think that there's not really like a double dip, so to speak, there as, look, these are emergency services that the city provides, and if it's necessary for somebody to be there, then so be it, you know.
Is there an issue if they're on the clock? A city employee would be on the clock and then getting that additional pay.
See, I don't think so. I mean, because well, I guess the question is, who all's salary versus who all's hourly?
We don't have any salary.
Nobody's salary. Well, then if all they're doing is reporting hours and they're gone for 2 hours on a call, then they shouldn't report those 2 hours of time. So, I mean, that's my view of things. So,
Like everybody would probably rather get their
Hourly
rate.
Right. I just took a pay cut to go deal with the fire. Yeah. I mean, no, but I think that that's a valid point, but, you know, and like I said, if it were a salary position, even I wouldn't have any real heartburn about it, and, you know, somebody leaving, so to speak. I don't think that that's, well, I guess a big part of this too will depend on how much y'all end up paying. And 15 a call or 15 a hit or whatever you're floating around, Brian, seems reasonable to me. I don't, like y'all said, I'd feel more comfortable with Daniel being here to give some context about that fee schedule. But if y'all decide you want to do something tonight, then I don't think what Brian's proposing is a bad idea. Like Pam said, it's not an ordinance. It can be something y'all revisit as quickly or as, you know, later as y'all want to.
Yeah, that was my only concern about that.
And something else I'd kind of like to discuss with him is like, I don't know if there's any kind of like pay schedule on there, if that's even been discussed, but like hold that money until December, like beginning of December. That way it's kind of
get one lump sum.
Yeah, it helps out at Christmas time
$30 at a time.
for everybody's family, yeah. But that's, again, just a policy thing, so.
I don't have that.
Monthly, he's got monthly on here.
Monthly.
He's got monthly on there, but.
Just, here's a suggestion that I just feel like we should deter this till when Daniel's here in November, and then we can discuss it, then we can vote on it, and we can put it in policy. Then he'll have the structure, I mean, it's his department. So I feel that that's only fair to do that, so.
I agree.
Everybody okay with that? All right, shake your noggin if you're okay with it.
Yes.
Gene, shake your noggin, it won't hurt. All right, then we're gonna defer that. Okay, court.
Oh, I'll speak later. I don't have much any to report tonight. I did it last month, and so there's nothing new. We don't have court until November. Will and I were talking. He did set the court schedule for next year. So again, every other month, starting I believe January 26th. And so have it down on your calendars. Court, it's exciting.
All right. Okay, Will?
It's a pretty busy week, last month. I had 2 agency assists, 31 extra patrols. I went and assisted with medical or fire, 3 on those. I had 1 animal complaint, and 3 march assists, and 25 traffic offenses, whether it be warnings or citations, either one. I don't have anything going on with the vehicle. I've been patrolling around, talking to the public just about different things that they're inquiring, extra patrols for what they would like for me to do. I've been helping, like I said, I've been helping both counties. Not so much on the Faulkner County side last month, but for Van Buren County. And sometimes I know, which I've told you before, I send the big call volume of it to the mayor so he can have a report of everything that I do. That is transmitted from me talking on the radio to Van Buren County. They does every call log that I'm on. I think there was, Ms. Pam, you might be able to answer me more accurate, but I think it was like 78 something transactions that I made. And this is just the stuff that I can tell y'all without mentioning people's names and people's businesses on calls that I've went on. And sometimes we'll put in there that's an agency assist, and it might be a motorist assist, or it might be something as a general info, but it was an agency assist that I'd done that, and I didn't add those in on that. If y'all would like for me to do it, then I will tell them, hey, try to be a bit more discreet on what I'm doing, and make sure it's the right category that I'm
So
in place.
I haven't heard anybody say you're not doing your job, so.
Well, I appreciate that.
Hadn't even been any Facebook posts.
That's a good thing.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Oh, man, I did it.
But that is all that I have, with the exception of locking my keys in my car. I'm okay. Everything else is going good. But I'm back mobile.
All right, any questions for Will? All right, we'll move along. Street, Randy?
All right, to start off, we'll talk about the preparation for RDOT on our paving our streets. We've already changed the 2 culverts out over on Camp Hill Road. We're looking at going ahead and get the ones over here at Frost. And the one on Oak Street is also, it's one side it's metal, the other side it's concrete. So we know it's got pieces under it. So we thought we'd go ahead and do that one also. And with them paving that street right there on Frost, when we come into this, they could just sweep out there and put a new layer over that culvert spot too. Problem is drainage there. We've dug in there, we've found our 6-inch water line, 10-inch size culverts, about all we can put in there because of the depth of the water line. We'd have to stay on top of it, or we can't go under it, it'd be too deep. But then we also have an issue there. The culverts now or later are gonna be deeper than the ground that they drain onto. So we've got to either try to work out something with the church on the property, at the parsonage, to fix some way to kind of drain the water down through there, to do some kind of a swell or something instead of, I mean, we don't want to really do culverts all the way across the property. Or with the next, lady next door, it's, her name is Joanne Johnson. Of course, that property's growed up pretty badly along that fence down through there. So TJ and I, we're gonna try to discuss with her,
We're gonna
trying to
try-
do the swell down along the fence, which would kind of help clean up the property. I don't know, Bo, we'd probably need like an easement, like a water line easement for that. I mean, I don't know how Conway, I'm sure all their concrete drainage and stuff they have through the city's got easements for it.
Yeah, or Conway Corp does, you know, depending on the circumstances. But yeah, I mean, if you need to obtain some access, then yes, we may need to, you know, go about and try to obtain some of those. I don't know how many.
It'd just be one person.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
one across one piece of property.
Got it, then that's probably doable.
And I guess, you know, that property needs to be kind of cleaned up anyway. That will clean 10 foot.
And if she doesn't agree to it, I'm sure the church will. So,
It's kind of bad because he's got trees and stuff right there in the fence that we'd have to. Be a little harder to
Yeah.
kind of get it just a nice, easy to mow
Yeah.
slope, just enough to get it on down through. Probably wouldn't have to go all the way through the property. We'd shoot the elevations and see. But, I mean, looking at it, it'd be several feet down through there to get it down enough where it actually drained correctly. Of course, with both those culverts there, both of them are pieced together and the asphalt's even cracking across Oak Tree, and that's probably the part of the metal is falling in under that. Another question on that, Spires Road, since that's on our list, to be asphalted. Since we may not have enough time because we still hadn't got a good date from the highway department when they're, from what I understand from them, Rogers Group got the bid on the asphalting. So right now they're doing surface in Conway and right now. So I don't know how much longer it'll be before they come up here. This project was they bid 3 towns together, us, Rosebud, and I believe it was Guy. There's 3 towns that they bid the project together in to get a better cost on the asphalting. Spires, we've got there looks like 3 culverts down there, and no 2 for sure that need to be replaced. And I was wanting to see if we can ask Faulkner County to do it, which you'll just have to send a letter to them and just ask the judge for
We'll give them
help
a call tomorrow.
and get those done, because I don't think, you know, it depends on how the rest of everything's been so busy. We've installed meters, we've had some leaks. We've got something going on now, our loss percentage is up a little bit. Now, we'll get to that in another discussion. But anyway, that's pretty well, that on the streets. We already went through and trimmed some of the lower hanging limbs to be out of the way of the dump trucks and stuff when they're trying to feed asphalt, so they won't end up with a limb breaking and falling down and then all that's on the road and making a bigger mess underneath the asphalt. But that's pretty well in on the street.
Okay, any comments? I'm gonna move, item B under 8 till after the water, report. So, any objections to that? Okay. Any questions on streets? Okay, go ahead into water.
Water, okay. All right, our usage, like I said, we've got a little bit higher loss on the south end. A couple of leaks that we fixed had been up here, so one small leak was down there. So I'm trying to set up a date with Arkansas Rural Water to get one of their guys to come out and we'll have to do it at night, do a leak detection like we done a couple of years ago by using an ultrasonic meter hooked on the water tank, measuring how many actual gallons are going out of that at night. which it helps out a lot, because we can turn off valves and we know how much water's going down this road, how much water's going down that road, and we can determine, okay, if it's 9 miles and we got 150 homes, well, that amount of water is justifiable. But if it's a 1.5 mile line and you've got high flow down, and then it's down there somewhere, but it hasn't come up yet. Nobody's found it. Tomorrow we're gonna, one of the guys from Rural Water is gonna be here. We're gonna be flow testing and testing the accuracy on the Boy Scout meter. That's a 6-inch meter, and it's been in for several years. And,
Are they still camping down there, son?
they're still,
Oh,
still, even this time of the year, they have smaller groups. And then they have the lodge and, the cafeteria and stuff that they have, like the graduation and the other special events down there. So we're gonna test that meter tomorrow to see how accurate it is. Well, when I was talking to the sales rep about a new meter to replace that one, which what essentially we'll end up doing with that, we'll take the guts out and replace the guts if it's that far off. But even the new meters, brand new meter is gonna be almost a gallon a minute off because the way that meter's made. So we've got a little bit of, there is some inaccuracy, but how much more it may be after this many years is what we're wanting to find out. So we're gonna figure that out tomorrow. If nothing else fails, and if the guy from Rural Water, I didn't know if any of them, a lot of those are federally funded guys. The federal agencies, their funding comes from Soil and Water and EPA and all those agencies. I didn't know if some of them might have already been affected and couldn't come, but he's still got an allocation for his job. Next thing on water, we had a problem with their mixing system in the tank up here. They had to pull it out. It wasn't working. Had to pull it out, and they took it and sent it back to the factory, and they repaired it, no charge, and they brought it back and put it back in. And it is working good right now.
Yeah, I'm looking
And it's helped our chlorine residual maintain better than what it was, because it was really bouncing because our temperatures have been changing, and so it was making the water levels change. Next thing, we had 153 work orders, and there's a lot of things that we end up doing. A lot of times we don't fill out the work orders. We're trying to get better in doing that. A lot of John's stuff that he does, the mowing and stuff like that, a lot of times we don't get that put in. So we're gonna try to get a little bit better of what all is going on in our department.
I'd like to make a comment right at that. You guys are doing a great job. There's been a lot of good comments coming from our community, seeing you guys out and about, always busy, always doing something, and it's noticed. And our system is in better shape than it's been in quite a while. So just want you guys to know that it don't go unnoticed. So
thank you. And I said, this has been the first time we've had time to really do any street work, and in a while. And we've got some areas we've got to clear off some right of ways, and that'll go into our discussion on our case backhoe. We also have here talking about our old case backhoe. We've had to work on it a lot. Of course, it's old. We're gonna have to work on it a lot. We've been doing our items through a state auction system. The state has this company authorized to do auctions. It's an online auction, and we've already did and got rid of a lot of stuff that we've had for years that we really didn't need, kind of piled up. And they're gonna do it again later on this fall, December, I believe, is what he told me. So we're gonna look at anything else that we might have that needs to go. We've got looked at think about that backhoe. I think the fire department, I don't know if y'all decided on the rescue truck or,
Yeah,
But,
last month they did that,
They voted
diesel
for it
one,
last
yeah,
month.
we already did the diesel one, yeah.
so,
It'll go in it, so.
Suburban out here, we want to put it, of course, put it with a reserve. They do reserves. So if it don't come up with enough out of the bids, that, they won't sell it. We can turn around and then try selling it out front or whatever, like we've done on other vehicles and stuff before. Like I say, it's maintenance problem. Of course, we got maintenance with everything. But, it's kind of thoughts for y'all. And Gene, we're going to see if you can find out maybe what you think that thing would, what we might ask for it. Did you have?
Yeah, I went on the internet and they'll run from 10 to 18,000, that particular model.
That year, and that year model. That's a pretty good price out of it.
And it's pretty solid on hold, but it's old.
It's old, but like Gene said, it's pretty solid. If we do get rid of that, then we're gonna have to look at, having something around to be able to like load the trailer with like gravel or, fines or whatever. If we have a water leak or something and we have to haul gravel, the John Deere, if we've got the John Deere 110 out there digging with it, we have to have gravel to put in the hole or some topsoil to put back in the hole or whatever it might be. If we've dug part across the road, we're gonna put SB2 gravel back in it. If it's not during normal hours where if I need a full load, then we have to load it up there. So we're gonna have something to be able to load. Of course, we also are gonna have the Traco to start. We're getting more and more used to using it. And, we'd have to get a front end loader to put on the other tractor that we use the bush hog with. So, part of that money, if we got that money, we put the front end loader on that tractor.
Randy, is that 1,300,000? That's quite a bit of water loss. Is that high compared to normal?
It's not really. I mean, we've been running, we got down to down in the 15% range.
We were 11 last
20%'s a little bit high.
and I bragged on it.
But it's not,
You should
well,
knock
it's,
on
it's,
wood.
it's somewhere on the south end, that's where you sometimes bragging ain't a good thing.
Yeah.
And that's
Lord
what we call it
Almighty.
rural water, because that's not, but maybe 10 gallons a minute, more than normal. And that could be one service line, or multiple leaks somewhat scattered around.
Or
So
several
the
hoses
only,
left on.
so the only way we're gonna know is when we start doing this leak detection and figuring out how much runs down each one of these lines. We've done this once before, that rural water offered a service, and, the way it works, he puts that electronic meter, he don't have to put it inside the pipe, it bolts onto the outside of the pipe that comes out of the water tank. And he gets the flow, what it's flowing out of the tank at, 1 o'clock. We do it at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, depending on, because there's less usage at that time.
Gene said wake him up for the next one. He
Wake
wanted
him
to
up
know.
for the next one. And then we go down and like Solomon Grove Road, we shut the valve off that supplies Solomon Grove Road. After we get a base figure that we're running 50 gallons a minute out of the tank. We turn that valve off and we have to wait about 10, 15 minutes and the water kind of settles and in a little bit, okay, it goes from 55 to 20. Okay, well, the past time that we did that, it was running 15, but the next morning we figured out normally it runs about 5. And that line covers Solomon Grove Road, Highway 285, and then halfway back across Republican. There's, several miles, 10 miles at least, maybe 12. So 5 gallons a minute, rural water just kind of lasts, and you're not gonna find that. If it's not coming up, unless you start walking every foot, then you may never not find it then. So, you have to look at whatever's under 15%, what national average, 15%. If that's all you're leaking, you're good.
Well, one thing that's really helped too is our digital meters and our pressure meters.
Yeah.
That's helping us isolate different areas. So,
Because, yeah, we know, we can tell that, okay, these customers that's on the digital, they're using this kind of, so much of that water at night. So we can look and see, like the next day, we can look after we do this leak detection, how many on that line that's on digital had a little small flow going, or if they had sprinklers going in the middle of the night. So that tells us even better what's being used on those lines. The most best way would have been when we get all the digital meters, then we're gonna know what the customers are using at night versus what's actually leaking down that road. It gives us a lot better idea. But this is kind of a guess scenario. And of course, that, I told you, that night it was 15 gallons a minute. Well, the next morning we started looking, after we'd done the other roads, the next morning we started go out to look to see if we could find where it was leaking. Because a couple of weeks before that, I used the leak detector meter and it was only 5 gallons a minute going through that whole area, which is
Good.
that's good. Well, we hadn't even got to the end of Solomon Grove Road and one of our customers called, I don't have any water. And we'd already, I told Grant to go on down and check Dr. Thornberry's meter because he's got a 1-inch meter. And of course it runs down the highway right of way, next to the highway right of way, and out across through the woods to his house. When I thought about it, a couple of days before that, Energy had a mulching crew going through the cleaning right of way. Well, that's the 10 gallons a minute. His meter was running 10 gallons a minute. So by the next morning, we knew, well, okay, it's still 5 gallons a minute, so that 10 gallons fixed it after we shut that meter off. But that's, like I said, it's not always that easy. A lot of times we don't know where we're leaking. If it's our leak or if it's a customer's leak. Until the end of the month when John comes in and we've got a customer that's got a 60,000 gallon bill, okay, that's where that leak was for a couple of nights. In our drawdowns, we look at it in the mornings. We'll move up and down. Right now, we're staying pretty well at 40 something gallons on the south end, and we're at about 19 up here, which is a little high for up here. 11 gallons a minute is the lowest I've seen up here on the north end, and 21 is the lowest we've seen it on the south end. So we know we've got on each end. That's how we figured that out.
So on this backhoe thing.
Yeah, go back.
So what I'm hearing is if we sell it, we need to get a front end loader of some sort. How old is the tractor that we use, and is it 4-wheel drive to bush hog?
Yes, it's 4-wheel drive.
It is 4-wheel drive?
It's a Mahindra.
It's a Mahindra?
Yeah, and it's,
Is it big enough to handle what we would need if we put a bucket on it?
yeah, it would probably handle a small amount. Yeah, it wouldn't handle a great big amount.
So do y'all think we could get enough from this to offset the cost of one pretty evenly?
Well, I don't necessarily like the idea of giving something up that we need until we have something to replace it. So I'd like to make a motion that we table this until we at least get a quote and approve something
To put on the other.
to put on.
Because it has no connections. I mean, it's got the bolt holes, to put something on, but it has none of the hydraulics or anything. That's all gonna have to be a whole complete, and get some prices on it. It's a 55 horse, I believe.
55-30.
55 and 30, 55 horse. John sent me a picture.
yeah, it's a 55 horse tractor. It'll handle a bucket, but we just need to get pricing for that.
The only thing I can see is trying to bush hog with it. You got that sticking out from
You
it.
can take the bucket off.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But I mean, we will make sure we've got it set up where we can take it off.
That's true. You wanna be able to, you don't need to.
Gene, we asked Gene about it, and Gene said that he didn't like bush hogging with front end loader.
Yeah.
But
All depends if you got
And
to
you
move
push the trees over with the bucket and then chop them
You
up.
got that extra weight up there too.
you got the extra weight to hold the back up, because that bush hog's pretty heavy. It's a 7-foot bush hog.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second on
I'll
that?
second
Okay, we motion second to move this down until we get bids on what it would cost to put a front end loader on the tractor. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, that'll be deferred till we get those pricing.
And I don't know of anything else.
Okay, any other questions for Randy? Okay, we're going to go back up to number 8 and B, Lewis Street closure progress report. First of all, I'll let Pam state where we're at currently.
We are in line with RDOT for the engineer to come do his stuff on it. We have to submit a bond and we have to do a permit for the main closure. But I've got the paperwork on all of that. We're just waiting for the engineer to say yay, so.
You know, all the expenses for doing all that would be on us, and we would be required to put up all new curbing. It has to look like the rest of the highway.
We have a cost estimate on that?
That's what I want to go
A cost on it.
first.
And we GPS'd it last
Yeah.
week, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And it's 114 feet across there that I have to actually be changed out, so it'll match up. Not, you know, it's not, some of it starts turning in back further, so you have to go back and match it completely up straight.
That's where we're currently at on it. We've just been trying to get information all put together. I know there's been a lot of public comment, and I'm gonna open it up for comment right now.
My suggestion would be to leave the street open and put at least another speed bump or two in there and see if we can't get people slowed down. That's my suggestion. I've had people call me complaining about they don't want it closed.
I've had calls, no closing.
No close for me too.
Same here.
And I talked to, Dr. Fox, and it's gonna hurt his business. You cannot pull horse trailers in there and unload horses and then maybe try to drive a bus through or something. I mean, you're not gonna be able to do that. And he has to pull, I mean, you can't pull them in the front part. They have to come down there to the back part and then try to back them stop trailers out. And,
Good point.
he's not for it.
No, and this last, ever since we talked the last time, I've just made a mental note every time I'm driving the bus through. And I guarantee 95% of the time there's somebody parked in between Schaffner's and the vet
Yeah.
clinic where I couldn't get a
You
bus
can go
through.
through there.
If that road was shut down, Will would have to back me out back into the main highway, and I can't do that. But yeah, I foresee some calls too. I think the initial conversation was, let's get people slowed down. And I think going straight to closing the street down may be going too extreme, especially after hearing from some of our citizens and stuff, and the concerns. Some of them truly use it for the right reasons, and they don't drive 100 mile an hour down that road.
Now, something, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But, something I did mention to TJ today, if y'all ever, Google Maps has it as being 285 and has that as how to get to Highway 65. We can petition as a city, Google Maps, to fix that and take it off. If I was sitting in my house and I put that I want to go to Little Rock, I was trying to get to the state fair for sheep shows, it sends me down Lewis Lane. And so it's blindly sending people that are not from here on that road if they're having to hit 285 or
Yes.
coming out. So if we can petition
Yeah.
that to be changed. And Pam and I looked it up and it has it listed as 285
All the way across.
all the way across Lewis.
About how much does a speed bump cost us?
Cost us $1,200 5 years ago.
Yeah, I bet it'd probably be close to
2,000.
2,000 probably.
That's cheaper than curve, I can promise you.
Do we
yeah.
have-
Oh, yeah, definitely cheaper than the curb.
Do we have- Do you have the total length of that street? I can't remember what it is.
The length of the whole street?
It's just a couple of, it's not much.
So, in our original discussion, we talked
It's
about,
not,
and
it's not
a
very
speed
long.
bump will slow people down where it is. You've got to put in multiple speed bumps if you want people slowed down through the street. And I'd say we need one at least every 100 feet through there if we're going to actually slow people down. reason we talked about closing it is because we know for a fact that will stop people from doing 60 miles an hour down through there.
They will
So-
slow down for those, so
Yeah.
you know, we could probably start out with maybe one more
No.
and see how that does. Another suggestion, and Faulkner County is doing countywide. I mean, now Republican Road, 35 miles an hour is the speed limit on Republican Road. They posted it. In some places, 25. Cash Springs Road is 25. Down here on Cherokee, they posted Cherokee 15 miles an hour.
15.
You can't go 15. I run faster than that. But anyhow, that's.
But, you know,
So-
essentially, I mean,
The only thing about the speed bumps, the only thing about the speed bumps is, and I mean, that may work, and that may be what we need to do. But then I've always had people call me, well, I want one on my road. I mean, I don't like people going 45 past my house, you know? My kids are outside playing, I want a speed bump, I want a speed bump. We want speed bumps in Carroll Circle, we want speed bumps on North Road. Where do we,
There's not a problem with their road.
I've heard kids say, if you go faster, it's less of a bump. It's not slowing our kids down, I promise. I've heard.
Not good on the front end, I can
they're
promise.
not paying for their vehicles, obviously,
They're
that
not paying for all the
It's not.
fixes.
And here we are again having the same discussion that we had 6 months ago.
yeah, but,
And
um,
the only solution to slow them down 100% is to close it. I don't necessarily want to close it, but you've got to put in enough speed bumps to be effective. And so what, just estimate how, is it 500-600 feet?
Hang on a second, let me look at Google real
It's-
quick. I can look real quick. Well, I can look on time.
So if you put one every 100 feet, realistically, we're looking at like 4 speed bumps through there.
I used to remember how many feet, but
Well, the other thing and I've talked to Will already about this too, is really, I mean, even if we don't do some other patrols on 65, spending more time on Lewis Drive and making a point.
Yep.
To people, writing some tickets, big time. I mean, let's get their attention. I mean, we haven't pushed that to the envelope yet, as far as getting their attention of writing tickets on Lewis Drive. It's hard to get them. Am I correct, Will?
You are 100%.
But
Lower the speed limit to 10 miles an hour.
Well, my only issue, and I have been addressed by other people with the with the road closures, and they, you know, the speed bumps, and they're just asking my own opinion. They said, well, why don't you just sit down here and write tickets? And I said, okay, well, I can do that, and that's, you know, my job to enforce the traffic laws through here. But what am I going to do whenever all these people that are wanting everybody to be written these tickets, then themselves come off of 285, which is a 30-mile-an-hour road? Well, we all know they're going to be doing 35. I mean, that's just give and take.
given.
Okay, so say 35 and you hit 20-mile-an-hour road, you're automatically 15 over right there. That's what I start writing tickets for, 15 over. So then if they're doing 40, well, then you're 20-mile-an-hour over. If we bump it up to 25 and they're coming off of there, 20-mile-an-hour over, 45 mile an hour. That's way too fast to be coming through there. Well, have I wrote somebody for it? You bet. And I caught a little bit of backlash on it until they got the video of it, and then was like, okay, I will handle this. But I don't think that it's in the city's best interest for me to just be sitting on Lewis Drive and not being able to pay attention to more of the city street as well, because that's what I'm out there to do. I'm out there to be able to look at everybody's street, and all these extra patrols that I'm doing, they want that attention too. You know, I can't just devote 4 hours a day or even 2 hours a day just to sit on Lewis Drive. Is it an easy ticket? Yeah, it sure is. But then we're going to have to get back into the whole deal of the realm of things of whenever I asked to have the unsafe driving. which is what me and Bo looked at. You know, and I had a conversation with the judge, and he told me why he didn't want me to write those anymore. I completely understand that. He don't want us to get in the trouble that the previous law enforcement officers that was here. He don't want that for me. I don't want that. You know, realistically, I'm not going to write as close as how many citations they did, but still, yet with me being the only one here, it still pushes my level way down than what it was whenever there was 6 and 7, and I was here back in those days, so I knew how the 6 and 7 officers would write, you know. But I do not think it's fair for the town folk. I don't think it's fair for the community. I don't think it's fair for the people that live just outside of the city that's been born and raised here or have grew up here, have family here, to be coming through there and then me pop them for 15 over on a 20-mile-an-hour road coming off of 285.
It won't take many tickets for word to get around to slow down through there.
Well, I agree. And I'll do more patrols on it.
I
I'll
do
start
think we have
first
to
thing in the
make,
morning.
my personal opinion is we have to make a point.
Oh, yeah.
We have to get a point across that
That's right.
this is going to be enforced.
Mhm.
And if we're not gonna close that road off, then we have to get their attention somehow. And, I mean, Heather, you got a comment?
It's 700 feet, by the
Facebook
way.
Live video of Will standing at that intersection saying, "This is not a through road. I will write you a ticket." Circulate a video of a warning out there that says, "That's not, this focus has been on this place." But it's something quick and easy that tells people, see if people will stop going that way, just from a message that says,
Well, we
"We request that you don't use this path," but.
did try to put up barricades there. And he did not care. I stopped. I can get you an accurate number on the stop that day, but it was just strictly
Well,
warnings.
I think it would have to be a permanent thing that they could
Yes.
just, you know, but if you were to stand out there and say, "This is what we're doing, we will write you a ticket, we don't care." You have a reputation of being convenient with townspeople on occasion, like, we don't care who you are, where you're from, we're tired of you speeding through here. Share that with the world and see if that'll kind of get people thinking. I don't think people intentionally do it. I think they just don't think any other way.
Oh, I
I think
agree.
it's just a habit. I've lived over there forever. I've cut through here forever.
It's the way it's
It
always
hasn't
been.
always been
Put a
businesses
sign,
here,
sobriety
you know, like it
checkpoint
has,
ahead.
there haven't always been 25,000 cars taken there. You know, I think if
There's a lot
I'd
of,
like to think it's a lack of education.
I think it's a lot of people not paying attention to the speed limit. Like, in all honesty.
There's that too.
You know, because I mean, I don't know how big them signs are, but everybody can read one. I mean, they're all over the United States. You know, and I don't have any issue, one issue at all about sitting down there, and I can sit down there and, depending on the speed, I mean, I can take it. I'm not gonna let somebody come through there that's at 40 mile an hour. I wouldn't let somebody come through here at 20 mile an hour. You know, if I catch them, I'm gonna write them a speed ticket. I mean, that worked out whenever I first got here. Me and the mayor sat down and had a conversation, and I was popping them left and right for 20 plus. And then that's
Attention.
went way down.
Yep.
And then now, you know, we'll catch an occasional one come through, but not very often.
Bo, you've been sitting there very patiently scratching your chin. Do you have a legal opinion on any of this?
I would say that if this is a street that is, you know, being commonly used as a cut through, then, you know, you can post signage all day long and it's just not gonna matter.
Put sobriety checkpoint.
Yeah, right, now that can change things very quickly.
That's what I said.
No, I mean, I think, I understand what Will's saying, you know, it's a hard balance to strike, given what the city's been through before, but I think what Heather's point was a good one, which is just, you know, a little bit of public awareness. Of course, that's only gonna really, you know, get to your locals that know you. You know, that's the problem, is you're never gonna be able to. But I also get the impression that the people that are cutting through there, obviously, that's a very different type of traffic as the people that are coming down the highway every day. So, you know, I think that it's worth additional, you know, enforcement on your part, because that's, but I mean, I'm not, you know, you run your schedule. So I think that everybody's concerns are pretty valid, and I think that, you know, it's like Will said, he's not sitting here trying to write, you know, 5 to 10 over. This is for people that are seriously, you know, infringing on and creating a safety problem. And so I think that, you know, I stand with anybody like that who's saying, hey, 15 over, that's where they're going to start it. And I think that's fair on this. I don't think there's any need, and you know, you guys might think that there's an adjustment to the speed limit there. That y'all know that territory way better than I do. I'd be very cautious about changing any of the speed limits, period, just because.
Is it currently 20?
It is, yeah, 20.
And it's posted both
And then,
ends.
yeah, it's posted on both sides.
And I think Will's point is, of course, you're going to get people that are, you know, down, you know, decelerating, but they're not going to get to 20, so to speak. But, you know, if people are making a concerted effort to recognize that it's a city street, that it is not the highway, that it is a cut, you know, again, you're not going to probably do, I know y'all said something about barricades that are pointless, you know, and I agree, you know, don't do anything that's not going to do you any good and is only going to cause potentially more damage or safety concerns with somebody trying to speed around one of these things or whatever. But that's just kind of my feelings on it is, you know, use your judgment. But it clearly sounds like there's enough of an issue there that it's worth keeping an eye on.
The speed thing that you had set up, did it show the times that people were driving 62 and 55?
I don't know. I can speak with Chief Murdoch,
Okay.
because I know he has, right now, that machine is up at Clinton Elementary School.
Okay.
And that's what he's doing, basically the same things I do. Because whenever you drop off through there, they want you to do 15 mile an hour, not more, not less. And that's what they're probably fixing to get into with Mayor McCormick, is they're probably trying to do something to slow these people down. But I will speak to Chief Murdoch tomorrow. Another thing, and I apologize, speaking about Clinton School, I've been invited to come back up for another lockdown for Clinton School tomorrow. Chief Ayers actually contacted me and asked me to participate in it. So I will be doing that tomorrow. I'm not going to give a time because on the email they didn't give a time. I know the time, but I don't want to just put it out there.
They don't know the kids.
And with several school teachers here, or retired school teachers, I don't want to throw that information.
Ours is
out
the
there.
23rd. I don't know if they contacted you yet, but it's the 23rd.
I am not.
We just got the email today.
Okay. And I will be, I know, Marriott will let me know as soon as, and he may have let me know, and I just haven't looked at it.
Sure.
But I know that anything and everything goes on up there, he's always been very informative and letting me know what goes on. However, back to the Chief Murdoch, I will reach out to him tomorrow and see if he couldn't get me the times on it, because I know it's all emailed through to him. And I have all the emails.
They give you a time
I'm just wondering if it's happening at a certain time of the day or is it happening at night?
It's between not really much past 10 in the morning, and then not much past 6:30 in the evening. So I'm assuming it's probably the morning rush hour traffic from 7 to 10, everybody trying to go to work, and then you'll have a little bit of pickup depending on where the oil field guys are at and where they try to come through, because a lot of them will cut through there. Petty Jean, I seen Petty Jean come through there today. And I don't know what they were doing. They do it down there working. They probably just cut through and they turned right on 285. So, I mean, they could have been just coming right to there. I don't know. But whenever I see them, they was coming off of Lewis Drive. There's a lot of unnecessary traffic that does come through there. Miss Pam has it pulled up right there. Speed, percent speeds.
Across the bottom here's got the time.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So from 7 to 10, 11-ish. And then, of course, 11 to 12 is going to be, to 1 is going to be your lunch. And then from
4 and 5.
2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock there, and then it starts dwindling down to 6. So yeah,
So if you were gonna target a time to, maybe pick one of those over occasionally, different time that you think traffic would be heavier, and then it wouldn't consume all of your patrolling time, in my opinion. That way you can still go out.
well, my evenings, obviously, as y'all know,
Yeah.
is strictly, like I try, unless something's happening, like I'm with y'all. And that does slow a lot of people down too as well, but I'm
I
thinking
know that.
morning to
40
noon.
over, but-
I mean, you can kind of hit that in different kind of areas and times and never set the same time. Don't get repetitive on your times. And then, of course, from 3:30 to 4:15 is whenever I'm following up.
I mowed the church one day and I saw a girl come, I guarantee she'd run 60, she's jumped that speed bump. I don't know who she was, she's lying. She's in a hurry.
Somebody, I had gotten some reports of some vehicles, which I found out who they were, and actually, I didn't get to stop them. I just had to, I guess it was just fate that I run straight into them, and they pulled into Snappies, and I was like, hey, you're going a little fast on that street, aren't you? I said, we've had several complaints about this. And he was a local,
7 in the morning.
and I've not heard anything else about it, but that was like a warning of, hey, like,
There's
you're not
nothing
getting
wrong
a
with
notice
that.
coming through here, and you're not saving any time when you go through there. If you're doing 20, 25, you're not saving no time because you're gonna hit the speed bump.
Sit there every morning at the same time until they form a habit of avoiding you.
Yeah.
If that's the option. Either surprise them or just be there every morning. I'm like, oh man, I gotta go the speed limit. I might as well just take the highway.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
one, is it worse coming off 285 or coming off 65?
285.
Okay.
I mean, there's been some complaints about the
So you can
65,
see that,
but the majority of the time, you've always got southbound traffic coming through.
you
On
can sit there at
285
Hutch's
there.
old place right there, and they see you
Well,
right
what
there,
I've
they're
been
gonna slow
doing,
down.
is sitting right in between Schaffner's and Dr. Fox's, right there in the
Yeah.
parking lot. They call me, and I've even went over to Harper's whenever his son's not there, Jared.
Jared,
Whenever he's not there, I sit right there, and I'm facing
Great
65,
view.
but I have a rear antenna, and I mean, I could sit there and watch them.
I just thought if you sat up there by the thrift store, they'd see you,
Keep going on 285.
and they would, yeah.
Until they,
Well, I will talk to the new owner of that building. I do know that they have been burning a lot, and they have been pushing a lot of stuff out through there. And I don't want to get in their way, but also I don't want to sit over in
The church.
the church's property right there, and also right there next to Miss Winningham's.
That's where
But
they've been
you
parking.
are, huh?
That's where they've been parking.
Yeah, they've been parking
Oh,
on the
yeah,
church
but, I mean,
grass.
but they have I guess they have permission, because I asked them about it one day. Why are you parking in Miss Winningham's yard? And then she told me later on that somebody did come by, but she doesn't know who it was. I said, okay.
All right, so what's the pleasure of our committee here, of our council?
Keep the street open and we'll work it. Plus also, I still say put another at least one speed bump in there.
I'll say 4.
Well,
I mean,
let's try this first.
no exaggeration.
Because, like
I think it's
said,
gonna take at least 4 to slow people down through there.
Well, since this is such a contentious, I would entertain a motion on what we did on this.
I'll make a motion that we place 4 speed bumps on there.
What is the length of that street?
700 feet.
704, something like that, 700 feet. And that was sitting at, I didn't think to measure that, but probably about 300 feet, where it's sitting from the 65 in.
What other city streets have speed bumps placed on them?
None.
None. That would be my big concern is.
that's what we got lots of phone calls after this first.
Right. And I don't know if, going out there and slapping down 4 at one time is gonna be, I mean, it might work, don't get me wrong, but I do think speed bumps are probably the measure that's appropriate. How many
I don't think one's gonna cut it. I don't think one's gonna cut
We
it.
can try one,
It might
they'll give
not,
us 2.
I mean, I
We
was,
gotta do something because We've been talking about this for months.
I think the one thing you know, as always, you worry too with speed bumps, you know, people are gonna always complain, oh, you damaged my vehicle because this, and of course, you know, the reality of it is it's all about how well you construct the speed bumps, of course. And so, you know, as long as they're done in a way that's, you know, consistent with what, you know, other cities are doing, I have no problems with that. I mean, I'll leave it to you guys' discretion and everything about how many. But from a legal standpoint, it seems like it's probably the best measure to do some traffic management there or some speed management. Like I said, I don't know that you have to necessarily make a decision tonight about how many you put down or at what intervals or anything. That may be something that Randy, I don't know if that, do you have any insight on that on the street
I
side?
mean, I don't know, I mean, like I said, you know, a lot of times the people that work, you know, have businesses down there, you know, they'll get over that one. They'll might slow down for that one, and after they get over it, they go.
Yeah.
You know, multiples might, and these are purchased. You know,
Right.
They're not asphalt, they're rubber, they're recycled black and yellow.
I mean, it's, you know, again, it's y'all's determination as to what you think is an appropriate number and at what intervals. I think that anything you do in that respect is going to be better than what you have, so to speak. And even if Will increases patrols there, I mean, you can see from the times on there, it's hard for me to read it entirely from this distance, but I could tell that it was, you know, your typical, what you would expect, you know, the peak traffic times is when it's gotten worse. I think I saw out there that the highest speed that anybody was kicked at was like 40 something.
42.
42.
That was only a 4-day time period though. That wasn't for the entire month that
even
it was
still,
out there.
even still, you've got at least one person in there who's hoofed it through there
20
and double the speed limit, posted limit. So I definitely think speed bumps are a approach to take there. I don't know that y'all have to make a full-blown decision tonight on necessarily how many. I think that you need to make a vote and approve the installation of speed bumps. But I don't know, I'm not, of course, again, because y'all don't have any in town, I'm not familiar with any occasion where a council has had to adopt a certain number, so to speak, for a particular street. I would say whatever you do, just make it consistent with, normal practices if the city of Damascus the town of Damascus.
Yes.
Well, at least we're not closing the street. They don't like speed bumps. They can always go around the other way.
That's also true, and I think that that's the one thing I, you know, definitely don't agree that closing it is prudent. I mean, it might come to that at some point. I hope it doesn't. I hope some of this management of the traffic will do the job. So whatever you guys think, obviously, in terms of how many you think you need and where, but I think it's a good idea.
Okay, well, I have a motion on the floor. I will need a second if we're gonna entertain it, or I'll open it up for a different motion. Hearing no second, I'll open it up for another motion.
I like the idea of not being able to set like a specific number.
I just,
And that way, if we need to add more than one later, we can.
I just don't know where you're gonna draw the line.
Right.
I mean, are we gonna put them down North Road? Are we gonna put them in Carroll Circle? Are we gonna put them on Cherokee? Are we gonna put them on,
Depends on if there's an issue or not.
I mean,
You need to do a policy of when the volume gets to X many cars on that road,
The same
speeding, which is
circular
gonna be that,
conversation.
that machine. he's
Nobody
got.
doing anything.
but the average speed is 14.
Then that's your policy of, well, we're gonna put a speed bump on the truck.
They don't have, nobody has the volume as that road does. Nobody.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, we need to petition Google Maps and get that taken off there.
Right.
Yeah, that's just the 4 days.
It
I want to see
still, it still won't
the
stop.
30-day one, we had a top speed of 62 and had a few that hit 55 on the 30-day one. Because I remember specifically seeing it and going, wow.
I think we would be surprised if we had a counter on a lot of these different roads. I know North Road
North Road, I mean,
gets hammered.
yes,
I mean,
there's people
there's
flying by me.
there's
all the time.
traffic on North Road just about every time you're over there.
all day, every day.
Yeah.
Yes,
So, I mean, it's not isolated just to Lewis
Yeah.
Street.
and Oak
No.
Tree and.
But it
West
gets a
Road.
lot of
Oak
volume.
Tree. I mean, there's several places, and
Fire station.
like Jackie did say, where are you gonna draw a line? Are we gonna institute putting speed bumps on every one of these roads?
Well, the first start is a line. Not just sitting here talking.
I guess I guess when it comes to, kind of where you draw the line, so to speak, is, to me, and maybe I hope my perception's not incorrect here, but it seems like Lewis Drive has got a big problem in that it is a cut-through means of access to,
I think the 30-day one was in the next month's report.
I'm looking for.
I
I don't
believe
think
the,
it's a precedent thing.
Why do we care why are we not willing to solve a problem now because somebody might complain later? I am one who has been asking for a speed bump on my road, but I'm not gonna come be mad at y'all for putting one in to save theirs. Like, I don't think that that's something that you can consider right now. Like, we have a problem in front of us. I asked Will at the last meeting, when do I get that fancy device set up on my road? Because Oak Tree is a cut through and it don't save you a second of time if you go the speed limit. But there are children here and there that live on that road. Mine are safe, we got a gate, they don't get in the road very often, but the ranch house down the street does have kids sometimes. We almost ran over them one day. Right now they don't, so I'm not as worried. But like, if I'm mad that I don't have a speed bump because somebody else got one because there was a risk to a child on that street, like, that's my problem, not the
See,
town.
my response to that is grow up.
Like, I feel like putting off a solution that could be helping those people because somebody might want a speed bump on their road too. Then we address it, we do the study, we bring the machine. Are people going 25 over the speed limit routinely down that road? If so, let's do it. Carroll Circle, they don't go through traffic. There is no through traffic in Carroll Circle. So.
I'm gonna make another motion that we put some speed, I'm not gonna give a number, more speed bumps on Lewis Drive to slow the traffic down and keep the road open.
I'll second the motion.
A motion made and second to repeat it again for Wendy. So she
No specific number, but put a speed bump or some speed bumps on Lewis Drive.
I'm gonna vote no unless it's gonna be plural speed bumps. Just throwing that out there. Not an or statement.
I'll say that you would be doing no good to just put one in either. I think,
We already have one.
We
on
got
there.
one
We already have one on
That's
there.
gonna
We
be
got one
two.
on this end, so if we
I
add
understand.
one on.
old speeder there hadn't went through theirs. All right, so we have a motion up in a second on the floor. We'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Clarification though, the original motion was speed bumps.
Is that your clarification on that? How's it read back, Wendy?
Well, I mean, I can put bumps in parentheses, put the S in parentheses, bumps, either or.
Because if we already have one bump there, if we add one more, then we have speed bumps on the road, right?
This
Are we
is
talking-
the addition of
If
speed
you
bumps.
put one on the south end, make them slow down when they come off the road.
But that's not the issue.
Then if they accelerate, then that's where they need a ticket.
Well, I think it's fair to say that one is not doing the trick.
When I'm,
I agree.
Yeah, but the other end, like coming off 285 and they're, whatever speed they're running, there's nothing to check them up
Right.
when they leave the road.
Right.
If we start with one at 285 and one in the center, I'd be okay with that. Starting there.
There is one basically.
Yeah, it's basically in the
So we
center.
need one on the 65 side, one on the 285 side, and one right in the middle. Of course, the one right in the middle, they're driving around.
well,
They can't completely drive around, but two wheels, they can go off in the ditch.
They're driving through the yard.
Unless the one house there's not a culvert, end of a culvert.
Right.
Stop them from driving.
You're right.
They'll possibly go.
But
through
if
the
they
yard.
go around, if they're still slowing down, they don't have
Well,
to.
it just be in their yard.
Could I have a readback of the motion, please?
Me or Wendy,
Speed bump or speed bumps?
either or.
Okay, can you read the complete motion to us?
Seth Gilbert made a motion to install speed bumps with S in parentheses.
Okay, everyone hear that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried. Okay, we shall move on. Mayor report, millage certification to counties.
We just need to verbalize it again. Once again, every year we have to, that 5 mills are taxes, and I have sent it to both counties in for them to collect it on the tax statements.
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the millage certification to the counties. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Christmas parade chair, theme and grand marshal, Jackie.
The two that, they came up with, or got narrowed down to, was A Pioneer Christmas honoring the spirit of 1874, or Wagons, Wood Fires, and Winter Cheer. So whichever one you prefer.
Any comment? We need to set this theme so we can get moving. We've already had calls wanting to know what the theme for.
Would you say the first one was Pioneer
A
what?
Pioneer Christmas honoring the spirit of 1874. That's when we were established.
I like that.
Pioneer Christmas.
All in favor of the first one, read it again, Jackie.
A Pioneer Christmas honoring the spirit of 1874.
Okay, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Do we have a chair yet, or you doing it by committee? Or we got anybody doing it?
Didn't we mention like the whole Hutto family?
Well, just any of that. Since the Huttos and Browns are kind of any, would you get the Huttos to be any of the Huttos to,
Grand marshals are the Huttos, correct? Isn't that what?
that's what we're gonna try.
Okay,
And I have to bribe some of them.
Find one anyway.
Yeah.
okay. Okay, I guess we're doing Christmas parade chair by committee of whoever wants to help. So that's the way it
Well, I
looks
think
right
it just
now.
everybody just kind of gets their own little.
Okay, we're gonna move on. The chili cook-off, December 6th, they decided to move to the community building instead of over at the church because of parking. So,
Is
they're
that-
still gonna host it,
The Methodist
the
Church.
Methodist Church.
Methodist Church is sponsoring it.
Yeah,
And
Now,
it's
is the
gonna be
Cowboy
held
Church
at
doing
Community
something that
Building.
day? 'Cause
What
it seems-
not that I know of.
Okay, because they haven't, okay.
They didn't wanna host the
Right.
chili cook-off, so, last I heard, they didn't have any plans to do
Okay.
anything, so.
And Daniel's here now, do you wanna go back and
Yes, I
visit
will.
that? Okay.
Okay, that's just point of information. Make sure that whoever's working on the Christmas parade knows that that's where we're gonna be doing the chili cook-off. Okay, report on special council meeting, October 2nd, to review ordinance book. I really appreciated you guys showing up for that. We went through it line item, and I will let Bo give us a synopsis of that.
Well, you guys got what I sent, hopefully, and there it is up there on the screen. We've got 2 separate ordinances that we're looking at based on everybody's review, and I'll echo what the mayor said. It was good to hear everybody's input. And clearly, there's just some things that needed to be gutted and some things that need to be changed as a result of all that. So this first ordinance you see up here is the one that repeals what I've just described it as outdated or obsolete ordinances. We made an itemization there of which ones those are based on our discussion. And again, the one in there that is being repealed that is likely to be replaced at some juncture is the noise ordinance in some form or fashion. But remember that that's got a lot of decibel readings and things like that that Will doesn't have the materials for anyway. So we just decided to strike it. And then there is I think, Pam, is that the one where I have said in there that it's going to be referred to as the town and everything, or is that in the next one?
Like that's the,
I think that's,
I think it must be the amendment.
That's in the minutes.
So this one again is just strictly repeals. These will not be replaced, and this is just to strike those from the books. The next ordinance, 25-5, will be the one that contains all the ones that, the needs for amendments there. And so, yeah, there it is in that, the references to city changing the town, and then of course all the other amendments that we wanted to make, especially with regard to like penalties and things of that nature.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to,
Suspend.
oh yeah,
we have to
Suspend three
suspend
readings.
there'll be 3 readings here.
Yeah.
So, do we want to make one motion to suspend all those 3 readings?
Yes.
make a motion to waive the readings.
Okay?
Second.
Okay, motion made and second to suspend the readings of these ordinances. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, we will vote on the ordinances.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 25-4 to repeal the outdated ordinances listed.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and second to approve ordinance 25-4 for the repeal of ordinances that were obsolete and outdated. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'll also make a motion to adopt the emergency clause in said ordinance.
Motion made. Did I hear a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to waive the emergency clause for this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Amendment 25-5.
I did have a question for Bo about that one.
Yeah.
We briefly discussed in 3.24 adding verbiage for council approval on fixed assets and is
What number was that again?
3.24.
Charles, get them real quick.
It's, in 25-5, I don't see that.
3.24, we had discussed adding verbiage for council approval for removal of fixed assets and accountable equipment.
Oh, okay.
I don't see that amendment
We can.
added. That's the only one I saw missing.
Okay, let me take a look at that real quick. I see, we can do an edit there to add that provision in there, and in fact, and is that the Word version, is that editable?
No, this is a PDF one.
Okay.
If we want to do it next month too, that's fine too. I don't think it's anything pressing.
What we can do is, if y'all want to adopt this as presented, you can, and then if we need to do a supplemental ordinance, I know we're trying to clean up, but if we want to do it one for next month, we can, or we can plug that language in here tonight and we can read it into the record, so to speak.
So we would need a motion to
Amend.
We can accept.
approve an amended version of
Correct.
ordinance 25-5.
Correct. If you do that tonight, then I don't believe we'll have to do anything other than I can plug that in there. What might be helpful, Brian, for the sake of your motion on this, is make it with that amendment and go ahead and say what that language needs to be, so it's just part of the record. And then that way, you guys don't have to come back and adopt another amendment.
You got this.
Another adoption.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you remember that word?
So go right ahead, Brian, do it.
Well, I'll make a motion that we waive the 3 readings first.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second to waive the reading. All in favor? Opposed?
I'll come up here.
Okay, motion carried. Okay. Brian?
Make a motion that we adopt ordinance 25-5 with the amendment that any fixed assets or accountable equipment can only be removed from inventory at the approval of the council.
I'll second that.
Okay. I'm not going to repeat that.
I'll say this, it sounded good to me.
Yes.
Exactly, you got it right.
Yes.
There it is.
Any fixed assets.
Is that the correct verbiage?
That's correct.
That work, okay.
Yeah, but if you wanna put I think it's titled fixed assets up there, so you know where I've got the ordinances titled, if you put like right where you are, or if you just put fixed assets there and then whatever that original ordinance number was, if it's on there.
What is it, all fixed assets, be removed?
Fixed assets and accountable equipment may only be removed from inventory at the approval of council.
Okay, motion's been made and second to, accept 25-5 amendment to include this new
Verbiage.
verbiage. Good word. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, reminder, we have,
One more reminder, I think you'll
Okay.
need to adopt the emergency clause on that one too.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
is
we
there
do.
another emergency?
I make a motion, we adopt the emergency clause on that one also.
Second,
Second.
a motion made and second to adopt emergency clause on this ordinance also. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now we'll move on. Thank you. Reminder change for the November meeting. Won't be on Tuesday night, it'll be on Thursday night, November 13th. Okay, 6 p.m. Water Board will begin the meeting like we did tonight. There'll be an introduction of the new Water Board members. We're gonna try to get them here for you guys to, most of you know them already.
This does say water boards at 5:30.
Advisory meeting, committee is what it is.
Okay, so we're gonna start at 5:30 that night, correct?
Right.
Okay.
5:30 on the 13th.
So we got a lot to cover that night also, so. All right, I want to go back to, what we put on the burner. Daniel, you're up. We want to discuss the wage structure.
Okay.
If you would, give everybody we kind of went over it, but kind of give everybody a synopsis where you got those figures and what you're wanting to do with it.
Right, so I got my figures from a Google search. I just Googled nationwide average, volunteer firefighter paid per call, and that's what it spit out to me. So I sat down and kind of put it to paper and wrote this up, and the purpose behind this is try to give these guys that's worked for years and years and years, their own time, their own money, their own wear and tear vehicle, just a little bit of something back in their pocket for their service to the community. And so there's a breakdown of what it was right there. Emergency calls, firefighter, $15 a call. An officer would be a safety officer, or training officer, captain, something like that. 25 a call. Chief, assistant chief, 30 a call. EMS calls, $20 per call across the board. Training, $15 an hour for training. If we got to go out, if we got to go somewhere and do a training class. Meetings, $10 per meeting. And anytime we did a standby event or something like that, $15 per hour.
Just so we catch you up, we didn't want to make a decision about this
Oh,
until
yes,
you
sir.
were
I was
here.
trying to get here. I'm literally.
I know, but work called.
Yes, sir.
Something we had talked about, and we don't want to get in over our head where we're paying hourly for something, and we can't really judge how much we're going to end up paying with that. Would you be okay with, like right now, us starting with flat rate? Everybody gets $15 a call, $15 for training, $15 for a meeting, and then see where that gets us 6 months down the road. And then in 6 months, we look at this
Okay.
and see if
I'd be fine with.
we're
flat
on
rate across
track
the board
or-
For everybody, for everything, wouldn't hurt my feelings.
I think it'd make it more simple when it's time to pay out too, you
It
know?
would.
And I'd also like to see, there was a thing about paying every month on there?
Yes, it's in there, it's in there about paying
And
money.
would you be okay with also addressing that and pay out first week in December, first pay period December? So come Christmas time, people are getting this check for the entire year of calls rather than paying out every month.
Personally, I would be okay with it. I'd want to go back to my members and talk to them, see what their thoughts are. This wasn't just my decision. This is something we said,
Right.
talked about in the department.
And really, you saying first week of December, I would say
First
in
pay period.
November. That
Okay,
week,
there you go,
that's
yeah.
why
That's when you
do
do your-
That's
Thanksgiving,
when we get it, that's when we get it.
Because that's when all the council gets
Okay.
their checks,
Yeah.
so.
Just somewhere there close to Christmas time, so maybe you get $500 check extra at Christmas time and gonna help out a whole lot.
Question I have is $15 if it's across the board, is that adequate?
It is for me, because I do it for free. So
Oh, I know that.
it's not about the money for me. I
Right.
just,
And
We all know why we're trying to do it, because we're trying to get some interest of people to get involved.
I think $15 across the board is probably fair. I know some of the others are paying $10, $15 to call local.
Yeah.
So their officers make a little bit more and chiefs and stuff, and I'm fine with flat rate 15 across the board.
And I'm not saying I disagree with this by any means, but I don't want us to get in over our head and come back 6 months later and be like, hey, we can't afford to keep this up. So,
Yeah, that's
just kind of,
the other thing.
get us rolling.
The other thing that I kind of mentioned was when somebody's on the clock, like if they are a city employee, you know, if they're on the clock and then they go, I don't know about if they should receive payment, if they're already receiving funds from city and that, or have you thought about that, or what's your thoughts on
We'd
it?
have to draw a line if we had a city employee that, you know, broke from their city time to do fire fund. It wouldn't be right for the city to pay for the fire fund. That would need to come out of fire fund. We'd have to delineate somehow that where that start and stop is.
And I don't know about the rest of the council. I'm honestly, I'm okay with paying a city employee for their time serving the citizens of the fire department as well. But I don't know where we get with that double dipping portion of it. So I don't want to get into a situation where,
Yeah, I'm just saying when they're on the clock here. Which, like Pam said, most of the time, she's the only one here. She can't leave anyways. Randy's.
Yeah, the incidents that I get to leave work to go to, it's only if it's something big.
Right.
If there is some big house on fire that's
There was a
right
huge
nearby.
grass fire and it was just me and Pam.
Right.
Well, you have to go if it's life or
I
death.
had it.
I say go.
Well, that's it, and I have, there's been many times that I've made the decision that slap a note on the door and
Yeah, lock
say,
the
you have
door.
going on a
Go.
fire call, come back after a while, so, yeah.
But I think y'all know that I'm not
Yeah.
thinking it's anybody that works here. You know, I'm just thinking historically speaking,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying?
we don't want people on the outside saying,
Correct. Our tax dollars are used for you to be doing this, why are you out?
right.
Right, correct. That's my only thoughts. Other
And it
than
doesn't happen very often at all, so.
that, I didn't figure it did, but, you know.
I make a motion, we pay these people $15 apiece across the board.
Okay,
I'll second that.
motion made and second to pay volunteer a flat fee of $15.
I'm staying. I can't vote.
All in
In
favor?
November.
In November, that's fine.
Okay, to be paid.
Come on, let's
Do you
take
want to discuss that with, or are you good
let's
with moving
table
forward with
this,
that?
and, well,
Well, we
I
can
was gonna
rescind,
be okay with it, so.
we can rescind the motion and just do this in November if you'd rather do that.
Yeah, I don't think
Anything's gonna be better than nothing. I don't wanna jump to the fee deserved. I mean,
That's
We
okay.
table it
If you want-
now.
let's
If you wanna
table
talk
it, and let
to
me
people.
have a meeting with it, and let's revisit
I
this.
rescind
Also,
my
if we
motion.
table it, that's
Okay.
roughly
motion
30 calls that are
has
not
been
paid.
rescinded, is second
That's true.
rescinded.
I'm with Brian there, though, no? I mean, I'm fine. Let's make the motion carry that way. If they don't like it, they don't have to sign the paper.
I'll make,
We can always adjust the pay period part of it, you know, like, we can,
Okay,
I'll make the motion again that we pay across the board.
I'll second it again.
all
And we
right.
pay them in
Motion
November.
made in second, to pay across the board $15 to be paid the first part of November, correct?
Yeah, before Thanksgiving.
Before Thanksgiving. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
If they don't like it, just let us know. We'll,
We're with
It's
it.
better
switch
than
it.
zero, isn't it?
All right,
Thank you.
any concerns from,
I just want to reconfirm, since we're doing that with Lewis Drive, then do we need to cancel our RDOT?
yeah, we'll take care of
And
that.
then we don't have to worry about the extra paper.
And we are doing Google Maps. We
if
are
we're on the
petitioning
list, do we
Yes.
want to let them go ahead and come in case we do have to close it in the future?
You gotta pay $1,000 bond and all that stuff.
They don't work that way.
Yeah.
The state wants their money up front. I mean,
Jackie, what'd you say?
I want to make sure that we're gonna petition Google Maps to
Yes,
get
yes,
that.
we've got that on our list to take care of, and we will take care of that. So. Okay, any other concerns? Okay, hearing none. Bank statements, have everybody have a chance to review them, sign them?
Make a motion, we accept them.
I second.
Motion made and second to accept the bank statements. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made to adjourn, second, all in favor? Good night.